recording.
Oh, that was it. It's literally just press the recording button.
It's a button. Yeah, it's a button.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at technology.
Zoom is the best.
You are officially our first Zoom podcast guest.
Yes. This is my second podcast altogether as well.
Zach, thank you for doing this, man. It's really nice to be able to just chat, but two, for like kind of work. So that's sick.
Yeah, no, that's why I was excited when you asked me. I was like, yes. And I don't really do podcasts. Like I said, this is my second one I've ever done, basically.
I said this.
If I say
we were talking about people we want to get on, and I was like, I'd love to get Zach on. And he's like, does he do it? I was like, I don't think so. I know you've been asked before, but you've done that.
I feel like if I say yes to one, then I have to say yes to like a heap of them. So then I always just said like a blanket no across the board. But I had to because I just wanted to chat. It's always fun.
Well, the problem is I'm going to tell everyone that you love doing them now. So you're going to do
He doesn't full time. He loves it.
He's giving up everything else. He loves podcasting. You don't even need to have a following. Just anyone wants to talk to him.
No. Go on the street, start a podcast. I'm on it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've had the same thing. People have been like, "Oh, I'd love to get my podcast. We're just starting up. It only take you like maybe 2 hours. We'll do this," and you have to weigh up being like, "I don't want to be a dick. I don't want to be a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth my time?" Like,
it's hard because like you want to obviously do it, but at the same time you can't. I don't care if I get exposure for other people as well. You know, it's like it doesn't. I don't care about that. So I'd rather just have the hours in my day to do the things that I have to do. Like it's pretty bad, but I mean, some people it's good for them to get more exposure. Like they actually think it's worth it. But
yeah, absolutely.
It depends on the platform too. If Joe Rogan up, you're doing it.
No, I don't. Out of that.
Did you see the one with David Blaine you just did?
I one highlight, but I haven't watched the whole thing. Is it good?
Oh my god, you have to wait. Yeah, he regurgitated a frog. It was hilarious.
Have you seen the David Blaine documentary?
No, but he seems like the most interesting guy ever. Like I want to be friends with him.
It's super interesting. His thing is, so obviously he's a magician. He has like the sleight of hand stuff, but he also like practices and finds out the art of doing certain things. So that frog trick where he regurgitates it, that's a trick he worked on for 7 years. He went to these like 2 places, like one was in like the mountains of Nepal, to these one tribe of people that knew how to reserve a spot in their stomach and use it up and down so they could regurgitate on command water. And it started out as a thing where he wanted to fill a water bottle. So he'd be able to just do this and water would pour out. And then after a while, he realized, I could actually do this with a goldfish. It's the same principle.
Of course.
That's such commitment. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's more just physical things that are just impressive. Like,
yeah.
It's not as much magic. Like he did it for, like, it took him like 7 minutes, and he's just coughing up this goldfish going.
It's really delicious. Hang on.
I know it's not magic. It's just impressive.
Yeah, and like when he sews his lips together, I don't understand how, because it shows. He's like you can see the blood. You can see where that thing's happening. Has he just learned how to not bleed as much?
I honestly have no clue. That stuff, like, I'm amazed by magic. I went, have you seen David Lade? Have you seen his tricks?
No.
David Lade is really, really good at magic.
He seems like a guy that would actually practice magic.
Yeah, we literally were at his place, and it was me and Joel at his joint in Jersey, and he was just reeling off magic tricks, and we were both like, what the, like, we were just like completely shocked. I had to ask him like a million times. I think he explained one of them to me, but still, he's really.
I've seen him do things with cards before. He's like playing and like shuffling and doing that. I played on the weekend, and I was just like trying to cut it in half, and that just wasn't working for me.
Yeah, I can't do it either. It's something I think you'd have to spend a lot of time on. Anything with cards in general, I'm just average at it. He's good though.
Oh, man, I'll have to maybe. Are they on YouTube? Maybe I'll go watch that. Just another to add to their deck of amazing people.
Yeah, I know.
Look really good. You're very strong. You create fun videos. Oh, and you got magic? Sweet. That's cool.
Magic.
Yeah. Don't worry about us. We'll just stick to doing the one thing kind of average.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were just touching, obviously you're in lockdown in Victoria right now. How you're in a fairly wonderful setup, like we can see the ocean in the background there, but how is COVID life treating you?
Yeah, it's actually been all right. Like we were just saying, I did up the gym. It gave me a reason to do up the gym because I don't know for the guys listening, they knew before, but I had somewhat of a setup downstairs. It was like pretty much the bare minimum. Like everything was plate loaded. It was basically just to get by if I ever needed to. But I hated training down there because it was always just making do. And then as soon as like the first bit of COVID hit, when I realized gyms were going to close, I was like, okay, maybe I should start doing this up. And then I just full on committed to the home gym and like decked it out as best as I could. And now I am loving training there over a gym, which I never thought I would be. I always thought, nah, I like to go to the gym, but it's actually been like the best. And the amount of time that I have to do more work and stuff has just been actually awesome. Like I've been thriving pretty much. It's just the little things you miss. You just miss going out to eat and stuff like that. But otherwise, I didn't go out too much anyway. I was pretty much a hermit crab anyway at the best of times. Literally, yeah.
Court was saying the same thing when we were in kind of lockdown more, because things have eased up a lot here. But people were like, oh, how are you guys handling it? Like, you enjoying working at home? Or do you miss this? And Court's like, I'm living my best life. I'm so happy at home and like working and then being at home and doing what we want to do. And
we're lucky. I mean, like especially us, we're very lucky to be able to actually do that and be able to work. Like nothing actually changed for me in terms of my work. It just got better because I could have more time. I could make more content. I couldn't make content in other places, but like you just adapt and do it more, you know? So I feel like we're actually very lucky.
I want to talk to you about that because that's something that you probably have an edge on most people, even in like the influencing space, is the fact that you're a genuinely creative person and you take the initiative to create outside of your box, I guess you call it. So like your skit videos and that sort of thing, you already were predisposed to actually thrive in that element, which I think was really cool. What, has there been any challenges for you in that time, or have you just like cut loose and gone crazy?
Nah, really cool. It's been so much better. It's actually been so much better. Yeah, gone super crazy because usually like I was in a bit of a rut before COVID hit, funnily enough. Like with content, I was just trying to put out stuff consistently on YouTube. Like I'd be like, all right, I'd book in my guy, I'd book in Hayfi on the week and I'd be like, we're doing a cooking video here, then we got to do something. And I was just trying to play catch up to get something out there. And I wasn't actually enjoying it. Like I wasn't really, it was just more of a chore.
Yeah.
And then basically, because I was stuck at home, I'm like, okay, well, I've got to film things myself again. And then it forced me to actually get better at doing those things, at filming, editing. And I started to really enjoy it again.
Yeah.
And then I was like, at one point, I don't know why, but I'm just like, I just want to do some fun shit, like whatever I wanted to make. So then I started doing more stupid things, more skits, more videos on YouTube that are a bit different and weird again. And then I was just like loving it. And it's funny, as a result, the views went up again and everything started to get better kind of the more into it I got, because it was just channeling like that, just the creativity and just doing the different stuff that I always, I guess, did in the early days.
Yeah. Is there anything that you haven't done yet that you're like kind of holding out for that you really want to do? Like an idea or a skit, you're like, are the people ready for this yet?
Nothing specific, but like I think of a million and then I just think, oh, no, that'll end me. Like literally, there'll be something.
Dressed up as ladies and train. Like if you can't go much further than that.
Challenge accepted.
That's fine. I reckon that's good. There's like literally ideas that I'll come up with that I'll go, what do you think? And I'll like tell my parents or my brother, and they'll be like, haha, I see what you mean, but you're gonna get distracted. And I'm like, okay. So thankfully, but literally, like I think of ones all the time. Most of them, my humor's a bit dark, so I got to like censor it a little bit. But otherwise, I thought of one the other day. What was I gonna do? Nah, it's gone. But usually it's something I'll think about like immediately. Like, did you see the Harry Potter music video that I did?
Yes, I did see Dobby.
Sorry about that. Yeah, that I bought the Dobby mask because I knew that would come in handy, but I didn't know what for. But that was thought of, planned, filmed, and edited in the one day, because it's just really like sporadic. Like I'll just go, oh, this would be funny as, and then literally I told Joel about it when he got home from work that day, maybe like 12, and I'm like, or 1 o'clock in the Arvo, and I'm like, you want to do this music video and I want to get you Dobby twerking, and he was like, yes. And so I'm like, all right, give me a second, I'll think of some things. So I literally just went back, wrote some things down, we filmed it, and I edited that night. And so that was like, that's usually how it works. It's like, I'll think of something when I'm in a weird mood and I'll just commit to it and just do it immediately. And then usually after, you're probably the same, Nathan, like you're like, oh, is that funny? Is that like going to even work? But you're glad that you did it, and then it usually does.
I filmed it and sent it to one of my friends. It's probably like my most judgmental friend. was like, is this funny?
Mhm.
And he's like, yeah, that's really funny. So that was like, okay, if he approves of it, I can maybe get away with this.
But don't you think that like when you're in that mood where you think something's funny, if you sit on it for too long and maybe come back to it in 2 days, you'd be like, oh, I don't know about that anymore. And you have the doubts.
100%.
So I literally I force myself to, if I think it's funny at one point in time, I'm like, just commit to it. And I always commit to it. Like as soon as I script it, I'm like, that's it. It's happening now, because no matter what I think later, because I always end up doubting it after like a day or two. So now I've just learned to just roll with it.
Have you ever had any like backlash, any negativity come from any of that sort of thing? Because the world can be very quick to judge things and like be politically correct to a fault sometimes.
Yeah. Just for the sake of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, for sure. I think the ones that haven't got anything are the ones that me and you did together. The dress, that was like when we were girls. That was actually I got nothing from that on mine.
Yeah.
But I think also it depends, because like people that follow me know that I joke about a lot of stuff. You know, they know that I have good intentions and I don't mean bad. And I also try not to just be offensive for the sake of it. You know what I mean? Like if I do something that's offensive, it's because like that's just what I see the humor in, but it's not like I mean any like bad by it. So I think that I'm lucky in the sense that my audience knows me relatively well, but still I've had backlash from basically, I reckon everyone. There's one thing in every single one that's a little bit, bit much. I've had to delete one video before because it was just, and that I understood that one. I was like, yeah, I had to take that down. I was wearing, it wasn't making the sponsors happy. Let's put it that way. I pushed it.
When you've got brands that are sort of like backing you in what you're doing.
Yeah, and they're awesome.
Yeah, you haven't got any problems with that.
No, like they're really good. Like Gymshark are awesome in that stuff because they're funny. Like they're a good fun brand. But at the same time, if you do something that's like bit too much, I get that, and I'm always trying to just stay just below the line. But this one day, I just let my guard down, and I was over it. It was when I look back and I'm like, not smart. It wasn't anything crazy. It was just like I was making some sick jokes wearing a clown mask, and I forgot that I was wearing this giant Gymshark thing, and I looked at it and went, okay, damn, I probably can't do that. So I just got rid of the whole thing.
Yeah, cool. Playing with kids wearing a giant Gymshark jersey, not a good idea.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
That's okay. It happens. We're all there. That's what I think.
Yeah, but it's that's one time. The only one that I've done that I thought, yeah, probably not smart. But the rest of them, the brands are pretty sweet with it.
I want to talk to you about your journey, particularly on YouTube, because that's kind of where you put your focus primarily into, and how you found your voice there. Like you're very comfortable in who you are and what you present to your audience, and you say your audience knows that now. Did that take you long to figure out? Is that something you're still figuring out, or are you kind of like in your groove now?
I reckon now it's pretty much I've figured it out. Like in the beginning it was very weird because I was trying to like portray what I think people want to see mixed with what I feel I am, mixed with what I want to be, kind of thing. Like I was trying to find this, like chase a few different things. And so if you watch like my super old videos, like you'll see that, that doesn't like, especially you, Nathan, because you know me quite well, you'd be like, wow, that's not him. You know what I mean? Like you're like, that just doesn't seem like him, especially the really old ones. And then even now, and then you watch like the newer ones and you'll be like, okay, that is him. You know what I mean? Like you can see that there's a massive difference. And I think that's also just because like that just took being more comfortable on camera, as well as knowing that, being more comfortable in myself and knowing that there's people that are not going to like me and there's people that are going to like me for the different things about who I am, So it's like in the beginning though, early days, it's hard to get your head around that because you just want to be liked by everyone.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you have any like aha moment when you kind of like, oh, like I don't need to please everyone to be content in myself?
I think it was more of a gradual thing. Like it was like this year, to be fair, this year is probably when I've given it the most thought, but it's been a gradual thing for me of like, just trying not to worry about that stuff and just being more of who I was. Like, I guess last year was a bit of a moment when I thought, hang on, people actually like me because I'm different. That was like there was a bit of an aha moment there because I realized that the fact that, it didn't really matter what I looked like as much compared to other people in the fitness space. But if I was doing all these weird videos and cooking videos and whatever it was, And that like point of difference was like, I guess, a unique selling point for me, you know, and that's when I realized I'm like, shit, this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah. And do you think you found more success once you've started doing that kind of stuff?
Yeah, 100%. Because then it allows me to just be more myself. Like if I want to make a video, like I did that Harry Potter one, like people in the comments are saying, you can tell that Zac just literally wanted to dress up as Harry Potter for a day and just stuff around. And I was like, yeah. And you can tell, and that's what it's like, he has fun with the filming and stuff. And to be able to do that, like that, I reckon is where you actually create good stuff, is when you're doing what you want to do. Like you're doing what makes you like come alive in that sense. And when you notice that with people and there's a like congruency there, that's when I think everything clicks, is because you can go, yeah, he's doing what he wants to do to the best of his ability. And then it just keeps going up, you know, otherwise you're just stuck.
Have you got a strategy in place with going forward? Like you say, some days you just film things like Harry Potter music video, I'm doing that right now. Have you got things in the works that you're like, oh, in the next 6 months, I want to achieve this? Is that something you do, or is it very much you try and be spontaneous with it?
I probably do it on a smaller basis, like maybe within a couple of weeks or like a month. That's more like just a content plan. Like I wouldn't put out, say, every single video pure entertaining yet, because I still have a big YouTube following that follows me for, to learn things, you know? So I need, just to owe it to them, I still need to have those videos of, hey, I'm going to teach you this today.
Yeah.
And then the direction of my channel, like on a long term, I want it to be more of like, everybody can watch. It's an entertaining thing. You might learn something here or there, but it's more entertainment versus I'm going to sit down and take some notes.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, overall, I need to keep putting in those fun videos that I want to do. But at the same time, every week, every second week, I still need to alternate with you're going to learn something today kind of thing. Like just those more informative style.
Yeah. Do you have any aspect, and this is something you and I have talked about before, but does the idea of moving into more of like acting and doing that sort of thing, does that interest you?
Maybe, but I think because I've never done it, you know, so I've never actually probably done it before, so I can't say yes or no.
I mean, you've done
but
it for someone else.
Yeah, exactly. I know. That's why for when I'm doing it with me and like just playing roles and just having fun with it, that's fun for me. Like doing the whole like skits on YouTube and that stuff. But I guess I don't know, because I've never done it in terms of like the professional scene.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could be like it would be pretty fun.
So you don't want the lead in the Harry Potter remake, or you do want the lead in the Harry Potter remake?
I'll take that. I'll take that. I did my brother's Dobby and he gets to twerk and shake it.
J.K. Rowling's really changed with this hat.
Well,
yeah, we don't want to get into that one. We don't want to get into her as a person right now. That's something that someone said to me recently. I got a question come through about Harry Potter, and then someone responded to my question being like, do you feel weird talking about Harry Potter with everything that's going on with J.K. Rowling? I was like, look, the whole dramas with her and what she says on Twitter doesn't really change the books and the story for me. I can still enjoy that.
I didn't even know what happened.
She kind of came out as being like anti-trans, essentially.
She's what's called a TERF, a trans exclusionary radical feminist.
Yeah.
Essentially saying, unless you were born with ovaries, you can't be a female.
And you can't occupy female spaces, and you can't be acknowledged by society as a woman, and
you don't have a voice in that.
It's a lot further than just like the sport debate. It's a bit more.
Okay. A lot of people within that space related to the story of Harry Potter and how people can transform themselves and find themselves within that magical world. And there was a lot of like what people thought were metaphors for them that then she kind of just took away. She's like, oh, no. Like, I don't count you.
If you write a book where you can drink a potion and turn into a half cat, half human, it's all on the table, really, isn't it?
Well, apparently not.
Pretty open, I feel, at that point. But like, yeah, that's the thing. I wouldn't read into that too much, because who she is, like, doesn't take away from
the story.
Whether she's a person or not. Yeah, I mean, that whole series is like the best. You know, it's pretty much
the hard thing with that though. It's how do you separate the person from the art? We've discussed this with music though, like some bands that we like, where particularly with the Me Too movement and the way that equality has gone and the way the world is now, there's things coming up from 10 years ago from bands that I like that go, oh yeah, that was a kind of shitty thing that happened. Like this person like maybe abuse their power or something. But at the same time, I look back and be like, yeah, they were 21 and like dudes are shitty at 21 years old. And I'm sure that no one's perfect, but because these people are in the spotlight, because they have an album that everyone likes, therefore it's not okay for them now. I think that's a really hard line to toe.
It is tough, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, if like, I don't think it'd be weird to talk about Harry Potter. It's not like you're talking about, you know, the author when you're doing things like that. You know? Like, I feel like that's time looking into it maybe a bit much.
Well, people do that. People look into things.
Yeah, the internet's a fun place,
isn't it? No one's right and everyone's wrong. The world.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed on like when I do something, people will literally try and find an excuse to try and like seem offended, even if they're not. They'll be like, I've seen comments like, does anybody feel like this is, and I'm thinking, you're not even like,
you're looking for,
you have a stake in this. Yeah, you're literally trying to get people to go, hang on, that might be like construed as offensive. And I'm like, it's not, you know, like it shouldn't be. Why are you trying to read into this so much, you know? Yeah. Luckily, I have that audience where people go, nah, why are you trying to, you know, it's that, like, just, it's a joke or whatever, you know?
Being offensive is so different to being discriminatory or inflammatory. Like, offensive is so personal.
Yeah.
Like, there's no joke, honestly, there's no joke that I don't find funny. Like, in terms of no topic, because
I'm the same as you.
Yeah, but I understand why there are things that people have gone through why they find those jokes offensive. 100%.
Sure.
But there's a big difference between intentionally being disrespectful to a group of people and making a joke that's off color.
Yeah,
I think some people can do that better than others. Like, some people will try to make a joke and they'll just come across terribly. You know, they will just like look like they're just a bad person, you know, and in their mind they're thinking like, oh, but I thought I was, you know, they just can't connect that way, or they're not as self-aware or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But some people can get away with it, and you know that they mean well, a bit of a joke or whatever. And other people, it's like, you just shouldn't have done. You shouldn't have gone there. You shouldn't have tried.
You need to stop whatever it is you're doing right now.
Yeah, just leave it.
Hey, I want to talk to you about training, particularly during lockdown. Now, you had the benefit of building a gym. How have you found with your clients, the people who have not had access? Like, obviously, you're in Victoria right now. Victoria's back in a lockdown. A lot of people are struggling without access to gyms. Did that affect your coaching much?
It did, because I am not from a background of like calisthenics type work. So the people that follow me don't follow me for like my body weight stuff. It's been very much like weight centric. But like that said, I was pretty quick to get on and actually like rewrite all the new programs to make sure that we were committing to home workouts. And so it was available, make it pretty user-friendly on the website when people sign up so they know that that's there. And then I just like, I try to put some, not obviously as many videos as you, but some home workouts on my Instagram page just for other people for free. But it's hard because I was training with weights flat out every day. I didn't want to film videos and promote it too much. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to look like I was capitalizing on something that I wasn't actually doing, you know, because like you were training from home, you were doing those workouts basically every day and just filming them, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. See, that's like the best, because you could be like, this is what I'm doing, guys. If you want to do it with me, here you go. Yeah, exactly. It's quite easy, but I just didn't want to look like I was trying to trick people as of saying like, I'm looking better all the time because I'm dieting and now I'm getting bigger and whatever, you know, and then, and here's my thing. I just didn't want to look like that. So I kind of just thought, okay, let's just put it on. I even like decreased my prices a little bit and I just put it on, like, just went chilled. I'm like, it's available, but I stopped crazy promoting. And, but people seem to be really happy with it. Like the clients that were like, they still really love the workouts, and a lot of them actually just kept going, which was really good to see.
I think the important thing there, it kind of shows the importance of the diets, particularly for you. Like if you know how to write a diet and how to get people in the right nutrition, the training isn't the main focus. The diet's what's going to help them with that. And a lot of people want to either lose weight or gain weight, particularly trying to lose weight without equipment. That's not a huge issue because it's more about the diet.
No. They look better when they're dieting, even if they're doing like something, you know?
Yeah, you can get away with no training, really, really limited training if you're on point with your diet.
Yeah, especially if fat loss is the goal. I mean, and it depends where you are. If people are actually really overweight, they really they wouldn't notice much difference visually training versus not training. It's the weight loss that actually would do it. So if they're eating at a deficit, then they'll be like, this is sick, I've lost this much. and they maybe just went for some walks or whatever, and that's like they're happy, so that's fine. You know,
Is that something you find yourself answering on repeat, just about like it's about diet, like get your fucking diet sorted, you'll be fine?
yeah, that, and probably when people want to, I get literally in the last month, every second question is like whether they should cut or bulk first, if they're like skinny fat, and if they can do both, and also they never know how much to eat over their maintenance, or if they usually, most people just want to eat at maintenance. Have you found this? They just want to eat at maintenance and build muscle.
Yeah.
They're scared of gaining like any weight at all.
Too much food, I can't eat that. Give it 2 weeks, back to us, you'll be hungry.
Yeah, it's weird how that works, isn't it?
Yeah, the human body's a weird thing though. We like to be comfortable. We like to just like stay in our comfortable little bubble, and if we want to eat that much, we'll stay there, but we want the results, but you don't want to do anything to get there.
It's funny, it's like, yeah, if you stick to something as well, the body will like, I think, respond quite quickly and adapt. Like I've just by like my general sleeping pattern and like work pattern, I haven't eaten every day until about 12, and then sometimes I push to 1. And I wouldn't say that I was fasting intentionally. I just would get up, do some cardio, train, and then by the time I was hungry and go to eat, it was like 12. And now I'm not hungry until that point exactly every day.
Yeah.
So I accidentally got into like an intermittent fasting routine just because it was like it was
Now
easy.
you tell everyone about it, promote it as the one secret to losing weight.
The one trick the trainers hate me for. The one trick the trainers. And also like even
doesn't want you to know this.
Yeah, exactly. That's my favorite. When guys start eating and go into a bulking phase, and then like you said, after 2 weeks they're hungry again. That happened with me. I was eating like 3,500 calories, and I was like hungrier than I am now eating like 2.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, we just respond, right? The metabolism's just so plastic. It responds to whatever you do to it.
Plastic or elastic?
Plastic. Plastic will snap back. Plastic is moldable.
Depends what type of plastic we're talking
No,
about.
I'm thinking of like a rigid plastic chair in my head, and I'm like, that doesn't move.
I'm talking C4 explosives.
Which is it?
Demo explosives.
Yeah, I don't think in demolition terms. So what's going on with you physique wise? What's your goals right now?
Take your shit.
Currently,
Where I'm asking is if
full posing routine. No, I'm actually dieting a little bit now. So I've been at a probably steady diet now for the past 8 weeks, maybe, leading into a shoot in about 6 weeks, which will be good. Like with Nath, you know what this is, but I can't really say what it's for yet. But exciting things coming. So I just wanted to not look like a fat piece of shit by then.
could fit.
Yeah, and it's actually been it's been pretty decent this time around. So how about you? What's your kind of goal at the moment?
We were discussing this the other day. There's just the world's biggest fly in here right now. It's making so much noise. I feel like it's gonna be on the audio.
I hope so.
Oh, really? I can't hear it.
He's trying to get a feature.
Yeah.
She's got a YouTube channel. There's 2 big names on. We got to
Flyboy. Yeah. I was just saying this to Lane the other day. I don't really have any goals right now. My goal in the last few months was to get back into a consistent habit with training. Look at the size of that fly.
You guys are giving it the attention. You're giving it the
It's really rocking me. I just wanted to get back into a habit of like enjoying training. We've just built HQ here, and training is the greatest again. I'm loving training. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. I haven't really focused on diet much at all. My biggest problem is actually eating enough. I regularly just like not train 4 times in a day and be like, oh yeah, I probably should have eaten.
You're saying that before, and I'm so envious. Like that is just the best problem to have. Oh shit, I do see it. That's massive.
Giant fly.
Yeah.
You're just hanging out here as well. I don't know. Lane's probably more focused right now. Lane's been dieting pretty consistently for like the last few months.
Yeah, since the end of May, I'm down about 18 kilos or so.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I came down a long way. I was pretty thick.
Wow, that's massive. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I just had a diet break. Now we're going hard at it for about 6 weeks. See how weird we can get.
Yeah, good. It's fun, isn't it? When you get to that point, it's fun, but it's a bit scary.
Yeah, I haven't had anything too sticky yet. And the diet break was helping a lot. I've used refeeds for the first time. I've been working with Alberto Nunez, and I've used refeeds for the first time ever. And it's just like running downhill Monday through Wednesday. Thursday, I start to get a bit hungry. You get to Friday, and then I've got like back-to-back 500-gram carb days on the weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna say you do the double days.
Yeah, 48-hour refeed period. Pumps are insane, and this has been so easy.
In terms of actually like reversing the metabolic adaptations, I reckon that those 2-day refeeds is the only way to go. Like if you're doing a single day refeed, the only benefit that really has, like in my opinion, is bit of mental break from everything, bit of relief, and you're restoring the glycogen, so you feel like you got a decent pump and stuff, and you fill out a bit. But like in terms of actually trying to reverse those adaptations and actually not have to, diet on such tiny calories, I think you need those 2, 3, the longer the better, like if anything. So I think I've done it in the past where I did 8 or 9 days of dieting, or even 10 days of dieting, and then 2-day big refeeds like that as well. And that works like super well.
Yeah, it's been incredible, and there's lots of good data behind it. There's a really cool study it was done on ladies who didn't train that much, but what came out of it was essentially that carbs don't put stuff on as quickly as you thought they did. So having those 2 much higher days, fat's still crazy low, like 60, 65 grams a day at 100 kilos. They're pretty low. But yeah, it's been going really well. It's
fun, isn't it? It's hard when you're doing it. I've like had a lot of people that ask about the refeeds and they don't notice them because like if they're carrying too much body weight, it's pretty much too hard. Like I genuinely suggest to people when they ask about that, like if they have a lot of weight, I don't really advise them yet. I'm like, you probably don't need it. There's no point. I mean, it's good if you want to have the relief side of things, but that's a whole different ballgame. Like it's just eat what you want to eat for a day or a couple of days, or give yourself a break.
It's kind of hard when people are that as well, when they're sitting at like 15, 16% body fat. And like, I'm thinking of bulking. You're like, well, don't do it. You won't notice it yet.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
A little bit.
They're like,
yeah.
It's tough.
And some people just don't sit super lean. Like you're not a natural, like you now still, I don't know what body fat percentage you'd be at, but you look so much leaner compared to where you were at.
Yeah, my natural set point is pretty high.
Yeah, whereas I naturally sit super lean.
Yeah, you've always been lean, Nath. I don't think I've ever seen you without abs.
Oh, I don't think I have either. I've known you for 30 years.
That's crazy.
Perma shred. No, when I bulked last year, towards the end of that, I noticed it. I still had like
Still had them. Yeah, you still had them though.
But yeah, my things though, like I never have cuts in my quads. I have to like be
really
lean to show quad. Yeah, like I never get feathering. And biceps, I never get feathering in my limbs, but like my lower back just has the Christmas tree at all times because that's just where I don't hold fat. Like, and that's a hard thing.
I reckon that's way better. Personally, I reckon that's way better.
I would way I'll give up.
I'll have literally fat on my stomach. I'll have like proper fat on my stomach, striated triceps. Striated triceps.
You tried it. Striated really showing.
Yeah, the tridents are coming out, and my quads will be feathered as well. I'm like, what the hell? And I got a fat gut. Girls like, take your shirt off. I'm like, no, but check out the quads.
Yeah, I'm 100% with check my triceps.
Yeah, literally, I don't even care anymore. So now I have to get like super lean to the point where I'm happy with my abs. My face is like dead. Like I'm just like stuck in. Yeah, actually, man, it sucks. It's getting a bit better now. I think because I've like probably built my abs a bit more, so they start to pop.
People like the whole like, oh, abs are made in the kitchen. They're revealed in the kitchen, but I reckon unless you put in, and we were talking about this the other day, because Lane's just programmed more ab work into the current program. He's like, look, this one turns sideways. There's just like a gap there because it loses weight, but you don't have the foundation to have the like definition of a six pack. Whereas because I've always liked calisthenics and bar work and I liked doing abs, I think I always had that foundation. And when I put on more weight, the ab was pronounced a little bit more.
And you can tell with yours, you got like very blocky abs there.
Yeah.
And in mine, and especially in my earlier photos, you can tell like I have like just the thinnest midsection there. So that's why like my waist looks small, but when I was a kid, I never had abs like at all.
Yeah.
Even when I got super lean, I'm like, what the hell? I was so confused. And a lot of other kids out there are probably the same. Like they just can't get them, even when they feel like they're quite lean. And it's just like, if the muscle's that small, you need this much fat and you covered it.
Yeah.
It makes it so easy. So I've actually made abs probably like still just 2 times a week, but nothing crazy, but just being consistently and just like actually smashing them. I've noticed a little bit. Yeah, it's easier to lean out. That's all. It's easy to feel like you're getting leaner.
you started training at a fairly young age. Do you think that really helps you with, because you have a fairly young audience on some of your channels, do you find that more relatable for them because you can talk about training in high school and training while studying and stuff like that?
100%. Yeah, I think that's actually how my channel started to get a lot of traction with like the younger guys. Was I made videos on like how I did school and fitness, because I started at 15 when I joined the gym, and then I did my entire like obviously VCE and all like through the school, when training and bodybuilding was like literally all I thought about. You know, like I just lived it and breathed it since I was like 16 onwards. But I'm so thankful for that, and I often tell people that it's good to start young too, because you can kind of like dedicate those early years to just stuffing around and learning stuff, you know, even if you're not smashing it, you're at least learning how to get your form right, about diet, so that when you're 20 or 21, you actually think, hey, I want to get a good physique here. You're not asking the same questions you were asking when you were 15, you know?
Yeah. I think it's interesting as well now. We were saying this to, I think, our like Milestone Facebook group. We're talking about the fact that like, I'm so jealous, but also appreciate the fact that people who are starting to train now have just this like plethora of information on the internet to use.
Yeah.
When I was in the gym, it was just like kind of watching what my friends were doing, and until Lane and I started training together again, having someone tell me, "Hey, don't do that. Like that's wrong."
Yeah.
Because
I know.
like then there wasn't that information to absorb and learn, whereas people now don't have to make the same mistakes from the get-go because people can help them straight away. Like
there's the free information on the internet now that was my university level education when I first went to uni. Like there's lectures,
everything online, you know what I mean? Like every bit of information is what people don't understand. Like even outside of fitness, you can literally self-educate on anything if you want to, you know? Like if you want to learn something, you don't need a uni course on something. Like you can just start reading, start actually studying as if you're doing something, you know? And that's kind of how I treated fitness when I started. When I was like younger, I just like would look heaps of stuff up, and every day just try to learn. It was like even supplements or whatever. It was just like, it was just a passion. I wanted to know about it. And then when I was 18, I felt like I had a decent idea. So like now when I make videos for like those kids or those people, I kind of know what they were thinking, because I remember thinking the same things, you know?
Yeah, you can come back from the right perspective.
100%.
So you obviously can't talk about your project you're working on right now, but what is something in the works right now that you can talk about? What are you excited for?
That's the Harry Potter adult film.
Oh, right. Excuse me.
Excuse me. What am I? I'm actually excited for a lot of things now. I really want to say it, but damn it, I won't yet.
That's okay.
I'm doing it with Joel. I'm doing it with my brother. We're launching it together. But it is not fitness related at all, I think, which is fun and exciting. What else has been? There's always a few little things. You know what it's like. We're always doing a few little things like on the side.
Yeah.
It's always like, it keeps it pretty exciting. But what about you?
Well, I'm the same as you. I can say this. I'm working on a sunglass brand. That's something that I said I would do this year, and I am doing slowly instead of working on that. We're just going to launch back into merch for Milestone, so that's really exciting.
Good.
We did that for a while and had some really positive feedback from that. And then we just kind of stopped doing it because for the past 2 years, like Lane was still working out of a gym and we weren't spending as much time together. But because we've got the HQ now, we can actually be more productive and we truly are working more efficiently. So
100%.
We're working on that right now, which is exciting.
That's good.
And just, I don't know, trying to be consistent with just talking about the stuff that we love and we're passionate about. The podcast is a big focus for us. We really enjoy this. It's fun talking to friends and people and talking fitness, but also just like life. It's really cool.
Yeah.
That's about it right now, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that's the fun stuff we're doing.
We'll forget.
Yeah, 100%. We're supposed to talk about this thing.
I always feel like I've got heaps of things going on, and then I'll like, sometimes I just feel like you're doing a million things at once with the day. But that's the best way to be, in my opinion. Like, it's fun. It changes it up, you know?
And that's why in lockdown, you are probably dealing better than most people because you're so driven to maintain a level of productivity across the board in whatever it is you're doing, where some people who aren't wired in the same way are getting a little bit restless because they aren't as productive.
For sure. Having direct control over your own income and brand, you know, if you work for someone else and your office is shut down, you're an accountant, there's not...
Yeah, what do you do?
There's not much you can do.
But there's different ways of looking at it. Like, I don't want to be like looking like I'm preaching it all, but I feel like you can... Yeah.
Preach.
Listen to me. But if you're the type of person that will be like, oh damn, it's out of my hands, can't do anything now, I'm just gonna stop, then you're not obviously gonna go anywhere. But that for me, like would be an excuse to try and do something different, or maybe reassess. Like for example, with the whole lockdown in the very beginning, I had to stop and reassess and go, hey, am I actually happy doing what I was doing? And I wasn't, to be honest. Like with the current videos and my schedule, I wasn't. I felt stressed for no reason. And then I started getting way more into like self-development and reading more. I ended up reading like a book a week, and still have since started lockdown. Like it's been just better habits. I literally flipped my entire schedule and mindset because of what happened. So I was feeling my best mentally in the dead center of lockdown, when everybody was feeling pretty much their worst. I felt like I had my shit sorted, but it was only because I had to kind of stop and look at things a bit differently, you know, like, and reevaluate what was going on, and try to get a bit better, instead of thinking like, damn, let's just try wait for this year, fast forward, you know what I mean?
Through it, yeah.
What's your favorite book that you've read?
Shit.
Or what's one that stands out?
It's I would say The Daily Stoic is probably because I read Ross's book. It all started when I read Ross Edgley's Art of Resilience, and I'm like, that's sick. And he would mention the Stoic philosophy a little bit throughout the book. So I was like, that's cool. So I started looking more into that. And the Daily Stoic, I will say that because if the people listening haven't got into Stoicism yet, it's like, it's very difficult to read because you're reading like 2,000-year-old books if you really want to get to the heart of it. So the Daily Stoic will have like guys just interpreting the quotes and making like sense of them, and you go, oh yeah, that's sick. So that is really good for mindset. Atomic Habits. Have you guys read that?
Yeah, James Clear.
Yeah, I like that one. That one's really good. And another decent game changer for me was The Obstacle is the Way. Similar thing.
Yep.
That was really good to kind of, especially around like that whole lockdown time, because it was basically saying like, when you hit with something, if the world goes to shit or something that's outside of your control, like what are you going to do, kind of thing. And it doesn't mean that if it seems bad, if you perceive it as bad straight away, it doesn't mean that that's bad for you in the end or whatever. So that was good to reset the thinking. And then currently I'm reading High Performance Habits, which has been awesome so far. That's like really good.
Sweet.
That's a good little selection right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We actually did, our last podcast we released at the time of recording this was on Stoicism. We actually talked about.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. I saw that thing come out. That's good.
We talked about that, you know, less Marcus Aurelius way of approaching it.
I tried to get my Seneca on, and you wouldn't.
And I just talked about Missy Elliott.
Same person. Same person.
Actually. But yeah, 100%. I think that's a really, really relevant thing for this time. I feel like we'd be amiss if we didn't discuss Gymshark here, because a lot of people who follow me would know you through our Gymshark connection. That's obviously how you and I met. But you and I have very, very interesting and different approaches to how we actually came with the brand and where it's come from. Do you want to talk to the people? We'll just ask for now, but explain just how you came about the brand and your, I guess, your social partnerships, how you approach them and how you've grown through them. Because obviously people know my story, but I think you've got a very interesting take on that.
In terms of like how I kind of got sponsored and did all that from the beginning. Yeah. I think it was probably bit over 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now. I got a role with Gymshark as an affiliate when they still had an academy going. So that meant like I wasn't getting paid. It wasn't an athlete thing yet, but it was like very low level. You can earn some commission. It's kind of just like just a little partnership with the brand. And that was like massive for me. And I was currently sponsored by one of my mates' brands, which was really difficult to leave because he kind of gave me a bit of a leg up, and and that was really tough. But I ended up saying I'm going to have to kind of run with this, even though I knew that it wasn't an athlete role, it wasn't anything big, but I knew Gymshark. I was a massive fan of the brand. I was like, if this could turn into something athlete, in 5 years or whatever, that'd be amazing. So I'm like, let's do it. And then got started. And so that was maybe when I had about less than 100K, and I just started YouTube, I look back and all the videos when I was super awkward on camera, I was rocking Gymshark. So it must have been early days. And then signed with them as that. And maybe like a few months later, they gave me a call, and he's like, it was actually Derby. Derby called me up and he goes, one of the athlete managers, and he goes, Hey Zach, just let you know that they've actually they're canning the whole affiliate program, so it's not going to be a thing anymore. And like, my heart just sank because I told my mate, I can't, I'm gonna have to stop this. I'm gonna have to go pursue this Gymshark, and I was so excited. And then he just told me that they're scrapping this whole program. And I remember like I was in my room and I'm like, I was just feeling so bad. He goes, but we're gonna leave you, and I'm like, you should have just told me. You just told me. Started with that, start with don't have a heart attack, because for me it was such a big deal. And then they kind of leveled me up as a low level athlete like straight away. And then since then it was just a matter of like, it's obviously been such a good journey, like, and I've loved every minute of it. Just trying to do more with them. They've been so good helping me like just get the most out of my own stuff and be more me. Because like, as you know, they don't want the same of everybody. Like they like to have the people for who they are and why they're different, which is like such a cool thing, I feel. And even with EHP too, I've been with EHP for a little bit longer than that, maybe 3 to 4 years. And that is like awesome for me because it's like having a loyalty with brands.
Yeah.
You're not just like chopping and changing. Like I wouldn't change it. I've had so many offers from supplement brands, heaps of apparel brands, and I just wouldn't even, you just wouldn't think, you don't, I'm quite happy with with where it is.
Well, you do a good job with both. Yeah,
Thank you. I just like it. I like the stuff, like if you love the products and that and the brand and what it stands for, then why would you change,
Yeah, and it does. It shows through as well through the content and through the messaging. It doesn't seem you're like, hey, like, buy this thing that I'm telling you to buy. Like it is.
Yeah.
And I think you've even done that though, but like just kind of taking the piss at yourself.
As a like 100%, yeah.
Which is a good way of doing it. I think I enjoyed one of the early days. I was watching a video when I'd first signed, because you were with them before I was, and it was like a clothes haul video. And you were like, put on, you're like, and this one's really comfy. And you're like, I don't know how to talk about clothes. Like, it looks so But I was like,
I did the same thing. I did the same thing like 4 times. I'm like, it's comfy, it looks good, it's sick. And I'm like, you just said that like a million times. But I mean, I feel like authentic marketing. Yeah, exactly. That's my. But like in terms of like authenticity in marketing, you just have to, speak about the products as if you tell your mate that you're recommending them to. That's how I try to do it. So I've had chats with like EHP before, and I've said, guys, I don't really want to do this certain style as much. And they're like, sweet, you don't have to promote this if you don't take it. Like they've always been like that. So I promote like crazy the products that I take every single day. Gymshark, I wear it every single day. I promote it. It's easier. You're good?
Something fell out of the gym, but like no one and nothing there's no wind. I don't know what just happened. So
it's fly.
It's the fly. It's the giant fly.
Giant fly. He's just doing some phrases right now, working the little lips.
Jealous. Yeah. I feel like if you love the product or something, it's no effort to market it and tell people about it. That's like, so they make it super easy.
Lane, I was discussing this because I felt like for a while, and you and I talked about this the other week, about the fact that I felt like I'd stopped promoting things through my stories and stuff out of fear of like pushing people too much. I didn't want to feel like I was selling to them. Mm-hmm. And I realized how many people like yourself I follow that do it so well. And I was like, well, I like seeing that. Why would I not want to do, like, why would people not want to see that from me? If I'm passionate about something, why am I not talking about it more? But
yeah, exactly.
I got caught up in my own head there of being like, I don't want to drive people insane with talking about products, but at the same time, like, that's my job. And I work with brands I like, and we have a business that we're truly passionate about. Why would we not talk about that all the time?
I think that people give it such a bad name. Like, sorry to cut you off, Lane. I was going to say, like, in the industry, when people are such, like, you get some snakes that sell you anything, swipe up on absolutely everything, and then you don't want to be like associated as the same thing as them.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're connecting people with what they need, then why wouldn't you do that easy? Like, why wouldn't we do swipe ups all the time when we love something? Like, if we love this and a lot of people would love to get that, why would we make it difficult for them to get it? But it's like by default, you don't think, you won't put a swipe in that one. You'll just wait,
Yeah, because I don't want to seem like a guy that's selling skinny me tea. Speaking of skinny me tea.
Yeah, that's exactly. You can group yourself in with all the shit that you see on Instagram.
Yeah,
and you see 7 or 8 sponsored, not sponsored posts, like ad posts, but they are all this. And sometimes you put your content on the same level as that, even though they're completely different things.
Yeah.
It's important to categorize yourself as something different. Like even that grenade video you did, which was entertaining.
Yeah. All all of your stuff, Nate, I have to give you credit, is very, very well done.
Thanks, man.
All of your paid posts, because I thought that was like, once upon a time, that was like my thing of doing creative ads. Like ever since I started social media, when I used to work at like a supplement shop at ASN, I would like make funny ads for them. Like I love doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then after a while, you know, I had probably dropped the ball a little bit, stopped. Just the busier you get, obviously, the harder it is. So you've kept up.
It takes time to think and do that sort of stuff.
100%. And like, you don't get the recognition as well. I mean, not that that's important, but it's not like a lot of the brands will go like, wow, that was just phenomenal what you just did. You know, I mean, it's half expected at the same time. So when you do like the crazy grenade stuff and some of the things I've seen, even the videography, I'm like, wow, that's like, I don't know what happened.
I do have to give credit to the brands though. Like you said, Grenade, they're so supportive and so encouraging that like whenever I do a thing, there's like, you're the best, you're the greatest, we love you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah,
They're
they
wonderful.
couldn't be more appreciative of the work we do. Same with JBL. Like every time we do a thing, they're like, how did you do that? We love it. That's the best thing ever. Like they could be more supportive of me, which it only makes me love the brands more because it makes you want to do more cool shit for them. You want to think outside the box. You want to share in the right direction when it's appreciative.
Yeah, and if I've got the time, I would much rather have the time to go, okay, let me think of something sick and then do that. But in the way that like sometimes your schedule's set up, like you just won't make the time to like do it in advance and get it sorted. You'll have good intentions and I'll forget. So then I'm like, damn it, I missed the opportunity there. So you just got to be organized, I guess.
What would you say is taking up most of your time currently? How are you structuring your day and what do you think is the most consuming thing for you at the moment?
Probably training, to be honest with you. That is like, usually not, but because I'm dieting now, I've added an extra like cardio bit in the day, which is about 30, 40 minutes in the gym. So that kind of delays everything because by the time I train cardio and stuff like that, I can't be as productive as I usually am. So I think I need to like rejig my schedule a bit because usually I would get up and immediately do work. Like I'd get up, do a bit of reading, whatever, but then straight in, I'd get an hour, 2 hours work done before anything else.
Yeah.
And that was like super effective. But now, and whether that's like coaching or video planning or whatever, but now because I'm basically getting down and training pretty much straight away, it kind of delays everything back. And then all of a sudden it's like 11, 12, and then I'm just getting in the groove of things. Like, and if I have a day filming, that's a lot of time. I have to pretty much like, that's hours of the day. And then I edit all my videos now as well. So that creeps into a bit of the night where I'm like not getting much sleep if I'm doing just straight video editing or all that. So I think it's a mix of like a bit of everything. Like I like to do things in bits every single day. Yeah. So if I film video, I might film a little bit, but then I'm not editing immediately. I'll go and do some other work. Like I kind of split it up so it's something different all the time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just to stand, because I mean, as you know, like with what we do, you have like, you're doing a bit of everything. You know, you got the coaching, you got YouTube, Instagram, other businesses that you're trying to work on, marketing in general for the whole thing. Like you got all these little things in the back end. If you focus on just one thing at a time, everything else just starts to fall. So you kind of like got to juggle a few things. But it's fun. It's good.
Yeah.
It takes a bit of time.
Like you said before, it's also learning. Like over time, you get better at doing it because you have to figure yourself out as you're doing it. It's not something you just like, and now I'm doing all these things and I know how to do them and how to juggle them because no one knows how to do that without help.
Yeah,
it takes
exactly.
Time. We're lucky here, like we're saying, having a space to be more productive. I feel like I'm structuring my day so much better that I'm not having to work late into the night as much now because I can get in and get stuff done. But
I reckon that's critical as well.
Yeah, it's made such a difference to us. But there was times before, particularly during COVID, I was working from the moment I woke up to the kind of when I went to bed, just on and off on little different things in the same way you probably do. We're very lucky though that we love our job. So like it's not work, even though you're working on your business and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You enjoy it. So it feels like it's still, you're doing what you want to do. Like Monday through till Sunday, it's exact same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it wouldn't matter what day.
It's very fortunate for that.
I'm so excited to have you come up here, my man. Once the world returns to a little bit more normalcy, we'll get you up here and we can.
Yeah, literally, I don't even know when we're allowed out of Victoria, but it'd be handy.
Like, it would be handy.
It would be good.
A while away too, which Australia's been real strict on that. So.
Yeah, we were coming down. My wife and I were coming down your way. You're
really?
all right?
Yeah.
Let's blew that out of the water. Yeah. My sister-in-law, and brother-in-law,
Your address is.
they live at Mornington. He works at a tattoo shop in Rosebud. And we were coming down the day the border closed. So yeah, we need to open them up.
Yeah.
Bruce, Scott, what's his name? Morrison. I just look so dumb. Oh God.
Yeah.
You know the guy that runs the thing? That guy.
Oh yeah, the country. I think I know who you're talking about.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty, but we'll see. It's just annoying having to get your head around not doing those little work trips that were like so fun, and then make such good content as well. But I mean, here's what it is.
I'm sure we can do something from afar in the meantime.
Like a
Yeah,
podcast.
he's so creative.
Yeah, if we could do a podcast, that'd be great.
I reckon that'll be good.
Nah, probably wouldn't work. You don't know tell people my address.
yeah.
47 Mount Martha Street.
Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to chat about, Nate? What you were saying?
No, I think we've covered off most of the things we want to talk about. If
That's
there
good.
is, I mean, we'll just get you back on here. That's fine.
I'm excited for 6 weeks when we can get you and your brother on and talk about whatever the hell it is that you won't tell us.
Yeah, that will be good.
Yeah, we do that.
Can we do that? That's something to hopefully
We're definitely doing that. Lock it in.
Cool, great.
Yeah, all right.
We're going here too.
And we're all going to be rocking whatever it is that we're making.
Oh, well, you've just given a hint there.
It could be anything. Could be sunglasses. You don't know.
Stole that. Dude, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with us.
Yes, we appreciate it very much.
Holy shit, has that been an hour already?
Yeah.
Has it? I wasn't checking time and things. Oh yeah.
That's
a
crazy.
cool time.
Time
Time
I feel
flies
like-
when you're talking smack.
flies when there's giant flies in the room. That's what they say.
Time flies, and so does that.
That's one of the Stoic proverbs. Mark
Yeah,
said that.
Missy Elliott, right?
Yeah, Missy Elliott said it. One of those ones. Dude, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you soon.
Yes, pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
Say, mate.